Marian here. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing some very exciting news, and that is that we are moving. We sold our house, we bought a new one, and we're gonna be moving. I'm so excited to bring you guys along and share all the little experiences with you, as well as make some content with some advice that I have about selling your home or improving the value of your home and little things like that you can do. And if you're interested in like interior design and organization, definitely hit that subscribe button because there are going to be a lot of those videos coming soon, hopefully. So if you're new here, welcome. My name is Marian. I make videos about being a mom and being a Jewish mom, and I would love it if you subscribed. And if you want to follow along with my everyday life as a Jewish mom, don't forget to follow me on Instagram. So in today's video, I just wanted to sit down and chat with you guys and share everything that's been going on. It's been so hard not to be sharing it every day on Instagram and everything that's going on, but I have been taking lots of video and vlogging and pictures and everything, so I was planning to kind of upload it once it was all settled and done, which it finally is. Okay, so the story of this home purchase probably started 4 years ago when we bought our current house, or a little bit more than that. I was really pregnant with Max, and we were looking to buy a house. We were living in a little townhouse at the time, and we had 2 dogs, so we were ready for some more space. But if you know the DC area, you know that housing prices are crazy expensive, so we knew we wouldn't be able to afford our, forever home or dream home in any means at that time. And what we decided to do was to find a house that we wanted to live in, but that we thought would be in a good investment, in the hopes that we would be able to sell it in a few years from then, and to at that point decide on what our next home was going to be. We wanted to do what we're doing now, before Max started kindergarten. So we sort of had this like 5 or so-ish years to figure it out. Because there's so many neighborhoods in DC, it's a big city, we also weren't sure exactly where we wanted to live, and there's a lot of different factors that go into that, and we just weren't sure, exactly what our lives would be like, of course. So, at the time, I was still working full-time, and we were both commuting and just doing different things, and, there were different reasons for being where we were. So anyways, we bought this house, and I actually want to make a video about loving the home you're in, even if it's not like your perfect home. And I do love this home. There are so many wonderful aspects of it, but there were also aspects that really bothered me, like not having a garage, especially with like 2 kids, 2 dogs, the snow, everything like that. That was like a key factor for me that I couldn't get over. Our layout is like a little bit tough for me, the placement of the laundry, just things that as a first-time home buyer I wasn't as concerned about, and things that as an investment property were fine, I could totally deal with, but for me and the way we live our life, it wasn't an ideal like forever home. So the plan was to buy a new house within the next year or 2, but we really were thinking more like 2021 or early 2022. But earlier this summer, when a lockdown was really getting locked down, we started to think about maybe moving now. And there was a few kind of different factors that happened. And one of the things that had been hard about when we bought this home was that I was really pregnant. So there was like this deadline of the baby coming. Pregnancy is so hard for me. I cannot do anything. My body is just like, no. So I couldn't help at all. And like, I really honestly feel like there was less blood flow to my brain. Like I couldn't even think clearly during pregnancy. So it was just really hard to be making these huge life decisions and to physically be moving while I was pregnant. So this summer we, are not pregnant, and there was literally nothing else going on. So in some ways it made it more convenient because my husband was working from home. If, for example, the plumber had to come in and then he had questions that I didn't know, my husband could answer them, and it just made it a little bit more convenient. And then, for example, if while he was taking a lunch break, we could do some packing or some planning or whatever. It was just made it a little bit more convenient. There definitely are aspects of moving during COVID that made it very difficult. I think ultimately this is a good time for us to move. So in the past few years, when anything came up on the market that I thought was really good, I would go see it. Most often there would be an open house and I just went by myself. Once in a while I would call my realtor if there was something I was really serious about looking at. It didn't have an open house. So this has been sort of this ongoing thing. And about a month ago, this house came on the market, and it was like the perfect layout. It was just beautiful. It hadn't been updated at all, but it was something, we could do down the line. And I called her and was like, we gotta see this house. So we saw the house and we decided to make an offer. We didn't make a very strong offer because the house had not been updated at all, so we really did think it was overpriced. And it was like our first real offer, you know, coming back into the real estate game, so we were not set on moving. It was like, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Let's just kind of try and see. So with that first house, the sellers were not willing to negotiate at all, and we withdrew our offer. We were like, okay, forget it. But because we had seen the house and kind of, you know, been tracking it, we got really interested in the neighborhood that it was in. And we decided that actually we wanted to live in that neighborhood. Like, all the styles of the homes in that neighborhood were exactly what we wanted, and it had a lot of nice features about it. So we were like, all of a sudden, after all these years of kind of being like, well, maybe here, maybe there, we had really targeted in on a neighborhood. And this was the first time we were really set and really knew the location we wanted. By the way, I know this is like long and rambly, but I know that like if you're a person that cares about this stuff, you'll find this interesting. So I'm just gonna share all the details. Okay, so once we decided we loved that neighborhood, we had only really seen it in our car and visiting the one house. So I said to my husband, like, let's go on a stroller walk there. Because it's locked down and literally the only thing to do with the kids is go on stroller walks. We've been going on different stroller walks around different DC neighborhoods anyways. Like, we'll often go to really fancy ones just to see the houses. So it wasn't too unusual a suggestion, but I was like, let's do it, let's go. So we were on our stroller walk, and as we're coming back to our car to go home, I see a realtor sign, not a for sale sign, a realtor sign, and a house that I thought people were not living in. Like, it didn't look like there were people in there. And by the way, on this stroller walk, the whole way around, we were talking about which kind of houses we liked in the neighborhood and like what aspects of them we would hope to get, you know, when one came on the market. But of course they're all different, so you know, it's like, oh, will one that looks like this ever come on the market kind of discussion. And as we're walking by and see this sign, it is like the exact perfect house that we had been saying was the type that we really wanted. So I immediately took out my phone, looked on Zillow, was not on the market, was not for sale, but it did have this realtor sign. Anyways, I turned to Andrew right away and said, this is it. This is our home. We're gonna buy this house. And he was like, you're crazy. But I was like, let's go look at it. He's like, absolutely not. Like, it's private property. You can't go look at it. And I just knew. I was like, there's nobody living here. We can go look. So I just kind of walked around it. I did not try to go inside or anything, but just like kind of peeked into the backyard to see it a little bit. I was just certain that we were gonna buy this house. And then when I pulled up the listing or the non-listing, and it had photos of the house, I could not breathe. Like, I was shaking. My whole body was buzzing. I had never seen a home that was so beautiful. Like, it had been designed so beautifully. Every aspect was updated and beautiful, and just nothing you see, nothing I had come across in the DC area in our budget. And that's when I really like felt nauseous and was like, oh my God, like, I want this house. So we emailed our realtor right away. We ended up seeing it the next day, I think, and basically we did put in an offer, and thanks to a really excellent realtor and lots of amazing negotiation, we got the house. But it was contingent on us selling our house. And because they were kind of not doing us a favor, but you know, in the negotiation they agreed to sell us the house with this contingency, we agreed to sell our house within 2 weeks, like to be totally sold within 2 weeks, which does sound crazy, but in the DC area, again, it's a really like hot market, so we felt it was doable. And worst comes to worst, if we couldn't sell, we weren't on the hook. We would just kind of lose the deal, but nothing, you know, no money was exchanged. We wouldn't be harmed. We could always pull ours off the market if that's what we wanted to. So it was like a safe thing to do, and we felt good about it, but it was still like we wanted that house, so we had to turn around and sell ours in 2 weeks. So I'm definitely gonna make more content about this, but my husband jokes that I've been preparing to stage and sell this home since we bought it, which is true. Every update that we've made on this house, I had the intention of resale in mind, and we didn't make any updates that I thought wouldn't be good for resale. So there's definitely things that I would have loved to do just for my personal taste, but that I didn't think were gonna be worth it or wouldn't pay off in the end, which I'll get into again in a different video. Anyway, so contract was signed. We were so excited, but it was like we couldn't really believe it was gonna happen until we sold our house. We had, from the time that happened, about 3 days to move almost all our stuff 2 dogs, 2 kids out of this house. We moved in with our in-laws for like 5 days while our house was actually being turned over and put on the market, because we have dogs, we needed to do things like wash the carpets. We had to have cleaners come in and clean everywhere. We had to take, that's another video, how to stage your house, but we had to do a lot because we wanted it to look as amazing as possible to get the most money out of it. And yeah, so we basically in 3 days got everything we could out of this house, made it look as beautiful as possible. And when we left that night, which I'll insert footage of, I was so emotional because I was so proud of how our house looked. It felt amazing to be so proud of what we had done. The house just looked so beautiful. And when we had bought it, I wouldn't say it was in bad shape. It wasn't, but it didn't look its best. There were so many things that weren't showcased in the way they could have been. So I just felt so proud that we were able to just, again, make it look its best. And we had put in all this hard work in 3 days with 2 dogs and 2 little babies running around to make it look so nice. And our house sold within just over 24 hours. It was crazy and intense and so nerve-wracking because you never know, like, are you accepting the right deal? You know, like, should you go back and forth more? What about a bidding war? There's like so much, and it all happened so quickly. But we were saying, me and my husband are very good, like, as a team and as a team under pressure, especially, which is why we were able to kind of turn things around quickly in the house, make the decisions we needed to make on selling. And in the end, we like came back to our house, 5 days after we had left, knowing that it was almost sold, but it had like one last thing to check off. Basically, like, the buyers could walk away. Like, they had like 1 hour to decide and then they could walk away. But we wanted to like come back to the house anyways, like either way, because if it sold, then it meant we could come back. And if it didn't, it meant, we had to figure out another plan. So anyways, we had this hour where we were in the house just being like, don't touch anything in case it has to go back on the market, but hopefully it's sold. And then we finally got the call saying they were going through and everything was signed and sealed and done. And we were so happy because then it meant we got to buy our forever home. So now at this moment, this all again has just happened. We are just a few weeks away from actually moving. So if you bought a house, you know that this process kind of takes time and everything. So it's kind of tough because we've like pre-moved almost. We've like packed up a lot of stuff, gotten ready to go, but now we still have to live here for a little while. And again, with 2 dogs, 2 babies, like, we just do need like toys and stuff like that out and about. We can't just keep it in this like pristine state. So, but we said, okay, that's how it is, that we're gonna live and then we're gonna pack and move for real. So that's the update. If you guys have any questions, let me know. If there's any video topics you want me to cover, let me know. Me and my husband have moved, I was trying to count this, I think 8 times in the past 10 years because when we were like downtown in apartments, we hopped around more than once a year almost to take advantage of like different rates, and it's craziness. But we have done a lot of moving and I would say we are experts at it. We just are, it's like down pat. We've done it so many times. Of course, this will be different because we are moving from a house to a house and it's a lot more stuff than we've moved before and a lot more people and dogs involved. But I feel like my organization strategy and packing and that kind of thing I have very down. So I would love to share all that because it's my jam. So yeah, so I'm gonna wrap it up. That's what's going on in my life. I hope you guys are doing well. This has given me such a huge emotional lift during lockdown, and I totally feel for you if you're in a low emotional state, because obviously this is something, not everyone can just move right now, but I'm just so thankful because it felt like there was just nothing on the horizon, nothing to look forward to. Like, it was just really hard for me. And now having this has really given me some joy and some, happiness to look forward to. I'm also very sad about leaving our home because even though I was frustrated by aspects of it, I said it's been the happiest place we've lived. We brought home 2 beautiful boys into this house and all their first moments have been in this house. So of course it's so emotional to leave it, but we did sell it to an amazing family and I'm so excited for them and their kids to enjoy it. So that makes me really happy, even though I know it's like a silly thing to consider when you're selling a home, but it makes me happy that in the end it's going to an amazing family. So that is it. That is my update. I hope you guys liked it and are looking forward to some moving content coming up. I hope you guys are doing okay out there. Thank you for following along. Give this video a big thumbs up if you like it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!